The pharmaceutical product development is required to be designed with the understanding of the critical requirements, and it should be quality oriented. To get the quality product, to develop the quality product, QBD or quality by design provides the holistic approach and a risk based approach. I welcome all the viewers to this video on design space in the pharmaceuticals. So you might have undergone the understanding, or you might have undergone any training onto the quality by design. Then you might be knowing regarding the design space. But even if you don't know what is design space, so this video is for you to know it and to understand it. Quality by design provides the risk based approach for the product development. It involves understanding about the product. Then what is the aim of the product? That is called as quality target product profile, QTPP. Then it involves the understanding about the CQAs, CMAs, CPPs and the control strategy. It also involves performing the experimentation, understanding the data and relating it to the risk to the quality parameters. Design space, knowledge space and the normal operating ranges are the three terminologies in the development of the safe space for the pharmaceuticals. So as you can see in this picture, there is a knowledge space, design space and the normal operating ranges. The outermost layer is the largest one, as you can see a circle. Middle layer is a design space and the inner layer, that is the smallest one, is the normal operating ranges space. Knowledge space means all gathered data or all the gathered process knowledge. Middle layer, design space, acceptable boundaries linking the CQAs and CPPs. And inner layer, which one is the smallest? It is normal operating ranges, typical routine manufacturing settings. So if you know any example of the quality by design, if you do some experimentation, you will have some understanding, you will have some parameters, you will have some knowledge regarding the parameters. That is your knowledge space. Then you make the acceptable ranges for those parameters, that will become your design space, and then you set the normal operating ranges for the parameters, that becomes your inner layer for normal operating ranges for typical manufacturing settings. Knowledge space, it is the broadest understanding of the product and the process. It includes critical and non-critical attributes and their relationships, built during the development from studies, trials and experience. Then design space, it is the subset of the knowledge space. It is a multidimensional combination of the material attributes and process parameters ensuring the quality, derived from the CQAs and CPP's relationship, and changes within this space doesn't involve any regulatory filing. That means the change within this design space to the parameters is not considered as a major change. There is no requirement of the regulatory filing for the change, and outside this space requires the regulatory review, because outside this range may affect the CQAs. That's why it will be coming under the regulatory filing. Then normal operating ranges, these are the subset of the design space. narrower routine setting for the consistent quality. Example, design space 10 to 20 minute mixing and normal operating range will be 14 to 16 minutes. It is chosen for the reliability and reproducibility. Now, I will make you understand, I will make you know regarding the design space, knowledge space and normal operating ranges. For example, if your mixing time, you have arrived to a mixing time of 10 to 20 minutes, you have studied some batches, you have studied the process, for example mixing, and you know that 10 to 20 minutes can give you the good results. But if you make one batch with 10 minutes, another with 15 minutes, and the third one with 20 minutes, may give some variations, and sometimes because of the some sequence of the material, because of some critical material attributes, there may be the variation seen, but it will not be significant. So you have taken the trial on 10 minutes, 15 minutes and 20 minutes, and all these trials are satisfactory for the mixing. Now the 10 to 20 minutes will become your mixing time, that is design space. It is a part of the knowledge space that you need some mixing time to get the results. Now out of these 10 to 20 minutes, you need to finalize the middle one, that means optimum mixing time. 10 to 20 minutes, it is the range, it is the normal operating range, but you need to fix it at around 15 minutes. Sometimes due to machine variation, it may go to 14 minutes or 16 minutes. It is likely possible in rare cases that 14 minutes or 16 minutes may happen, or 14 minutes or 16 minutes instead of 15 minutes may not affect the mixing. So you fix the normal operating ranges as 14 to 16 minutes and your target will be 15 minutes. It is selected for the reliability and reproducibility. So this slide you should understand and you should remember to understand regarding the knowledge space, design space and normal operating ranges. Design space in the pharmaceuticals, regulatory principles, best practices and the trends. So from empirical process development, science and risk-based QBD approach, and as per the ICH Q8 guideline, multidimensional combination of variables and parameters ensuring quality and enabling innovation and regulatory flexibility. So you should develop the product in such a way that you have the knowledge regarding the product process, you have understanding, you have some ranges which will not affect the quality, and then you should have the normal operating ranges. Now once again we will understand more about the design space. Design space, it is a proven multidimensional region of process parameters and material attributes which can ensure you the predetermined quality criteria and will meet the CQS. For example, I have taken the mixing time. 10 to 20 minute mixing time will not affect your product. So consider it as a design space. Account for variable interactions, multivariate, not one factor at a time. Movement within the approved design space, there will be no regulatory filing required. And it requires strong scientific evidence and risk assessment. So if you work or if you change within this design space, there will not be any requirement of the regulatory filing because of the change. Because you have proved that working within this range, will not impact the quality. For example, 10 to 20 minutes is your design space and 15 minutes is your target mixing time. If this mixing time you increase up to 17 minutes, 18 minutes, sometimes up to 19 or 20 minutes, it will not impact the quality, and that's why there is no regulatory filing for the change. Stage wise or stepwise development of the design space. So first is design of experiments, DOE or modeling. You can use any of the design like factorial, RSM, mechanistic models, regression, ANOVA, which can capture the main effects and the interactions of the variables with the responses. For example, variation or independent variable is the mixing time and the dependent variable is the blend uniformity. Then quality risk management, that is QRM. Go through the ICH Q9 tools, FMEA, Fishbone, and identify, rank and mitigate the risk. Here the risk of mixing time onto the uniformity. Then refinement and life cycle management. So for this, continuous verification via PAT, batch data. You might have heard regarding the annual quality review. Then post approval change management protocol, PACMP, to have the management for the product. It is called as life cycle approach for the product management. Then control strategy and real time controls. So normal operating ranges are to be given. In process monitoring should be there and real time testing will be there. Knowledge management tools like centralized data, decision history, and some others like nowadays machine learning is there. This is the stepwise development for the design space. Key points from the DOE. Interactions are critical for true process understanding. Use both empirical and mechanistic models. Models require validation with confirmatory runs. Regulatory classification, generally medium impact models. These are the key points to understand for the DOE. Common misconceptions. So we should know this. Design space, DOE is a tool, not a space itself. So as we know that design of experiment or DOE is a tool, some of the time we may consider it as a space. See, it is not a space, it is a tool for the QBD based development. Only critical parameters included. So non-critical parameters can be included if these are relevant and these are affecting the product. Design space is a simple box, often non-linear interaction surfaces. Then PARS, design space. PARS lack multivariate proof. So these all are the QBD based terminologies, DOE based terminologies. We need to understand this, and I will be making specific videos on these terminologies. For this video, consider these as a basics. Age of failure must be fully mapped, so justified extrapolation can be possible. Identical product everywhere. Acceptable variability is expected. You cannot say that if I work within the design space or if I work within the normal operating ranges, then the product will not vary. See, it is not possible, and specifically in the pharmaceutical products in the pharma industry, variability will be there in every batch. So acceptable variability is expected. No end product testing. It is not like that you will not do any end product testing. Still, end product testing is required unless RTRT is approved. Any change is fine. It is not like that any change can be done. Internal change control still required for changing the normal operating ranges and also changing within the design space. What are the practical challenges? So technical capacity for complex DOEs and modeling, cultural resistance to moving away from traditional methods, regulatory harmonization and inspector awareness, scale up versus lab differences. Whenever you are moving your product from R&D to tech transfer site, the challenges may be there. Though you have done all the DOEs, Though you have performed all the studies and you have the design space in your hand, still some challenges are there. Communicating the design space. So the design space should be communicated to the regulatory authorities. Model equations in the regulatory filings should be there. Graphical overlays of NOR and age of failure points. Age of failure means if you go beyond that point, it is expected or considered that the product may fail. Then knowledge management systems with the traceable changes are required to be there. Now future trends, AI and ML, nonlinear relationship detection, faster mapping, machine learning is there, artificial intelligence can be used in the future, digital twins, real-time simulation and optimization, continuous manufacturing, analytical design space as per the ICH Q14 that may be used for the QBD for analytical methods. Then conclusion, design space is a proactive and science-based quality assurance as you can demonstrate and prove that working within the design space is not going to hamper the product quality. It is supported by the guidelines like ICH Q8, Q9, Q10 and Q12, and in the future AI, ML, digital twins can expand the flexibility and control over these space. Key for balancing compliance, efficiency and the product robustness. As the ultimate aim of the pharmaceutical development, pharmaceutical manufacturing is producing the safe and effective medicines, products, and to meet the quality requirements. I hope this video will give you some basic understanding about the design space in the QBD based development. Thank you for watching the video.